Hi everyone, welcome to another Mission Shakeup. I'm your host, Rebecca Lindhout, Adult and Children's Ministry Consultant for WMU of North Carolina, and I am so excited as always to share with you the many ministry opportunities that you have through WMU of North Carolina and national. So the first thing that I want to talk about is Christmas. I know that you are saying that it's not even Halloween yet. We are 4 days away from Halloween, and she's talking about Christmas. But if I don't talk about these things in November, then they're going to really come too soon for you in December, because even our month of prayer is at the beginning. Our week of prayer is at the beginning of December. So we want you to have plenty of time to plan ahead for that. And so the first thing that I want to remind you of is that we do have a devotion that will start the first day of Advent. From WMU of North Carolina, and these are devotions about missions that are written by missionaries across North Carolina, across North America, and through the IMB, as well as some retired missionaries from all of those, and some CBF missionaries. So we hope that you will be on the lookout for that. That will be coming through our e-news. And if you are not signed up for our e-news, all you have to do is go to our website, and that little box that pops up that you have to click before you can move on to the other things you want to see on the website, just sign up right there. Click the box and sign up, and you'll get all of our information that's coming up, and lots of reminders of the things that I'm going to be telling you about today as well. So you've got that devotion coming up. Also, we have our North Carolina Baptist State Convention annual meeting is going to be next week, Monday and Tuesday of next week. And so I hope that you will stop by our booth and say hi to all of us there. We will have a table there for you to come by and chat with us and see what's going on with WMU of North Carolina. And so please take a minute just to come by and say hi. And also be a part of the important decisions that are being made about missions across our state and nationally. So that's important. If the things that we decide as a state are also affect missions, so be a part of the process, ladies. The next thing I want to talk about is that we are moving on November the 10th. We are moving our offices, so we will no longer be at 1200 Front Street. We will be moving to the Baptist State Convention offices in Cary, North Carolina, and our address will change. Our physical address will change, our mailing address will change, but our phone number will not change. So you can see our new address right here. So take a minute to write that down, but of course it will be on our website as well. And so we are very excited to see you there, and we are very grateful to North Carolina Baptist for providing this space for us, and for the partnerships that we will be forming with them as we serve God through missions. The next thing after that is we've got Mom Camp coming up. If you have not signed up for that and are interested, this is the last week to sign up. So you can go to our website to sign up for that. It's November the 11th through the 13th, and it's going to be a retreat all about sharing missions with our children, about how mothers are the missions leaders in our homes. And Joy Canup from South Carolina is going to be talking to moms about how we prioritize things and some easy tips for making missions a part of our everyday lives. And then we have breakout sessions from staff members and some other folks from around our state. So you do not want to miss this. And also there's going to be s'mores, there's going to be zip lines, there's going to be bazooka ball, and there's going to be some archery going on. So all those things that our kids have fun at camp doing without us, it is our time, ladies. So join us at Mom Camp. The following week after Mom Camp, in November the 19th, is Touch and Feel Missions Day for preschoolers. And I'm sure you're wondering, what is Touch and Feel Missions Days? That sounds a little weird. But actually, what the whole point is that we will have multi-sensory experiences for preschoolers and kindergartners, aka mission friends, to experience God's love and His mission around the world. We will have sensory bins, so they'll be playing with Orbeez and Play-Doh and all kinds of different ways to get their hands in missions. They will also be learning about Lottie Moon and Samaritan's Purse and about the places that goes. And we will be doing some Sing and Sprout movement and music. So that's going to be a fun time. We're going to be clapping and singing and playing instruments and waving ribbons and doing all kinds of things to praise God. And this will be, a Christmas-themed event. So I hope that you will come and bring your preschoolers. It's at Antioch Baptist Church in Lillington, North Carolina, and you can sign up for that online. It's from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock. So just enough time to get messy, have fun, and then you don't have to clean up. We'll do that for you. But if you can't make it to us, our materials will also be available for you to check out at our office in Cary. So our sensory bins will be there, and you can literally take the whole kit and have a Touch and Feel Missions Day for your preschoolers as well. And it'll have all the information you need to host this at your own church. So we hope that you will come, but if you can't, check it out. Literally, check it out. So, this month, our focus in missions for our Mosaic is Better Together. And they are talking about the Tiptons in Denver, Colorado. And I thought it was really interesting. The things that he talked about with Denver is, you would think, like, what is, like, Denver is a tourist a tourist place for people who like to be active and involved and doing sports and doing hiking and climbing and camping and all the rappelling, all of the things that a sportsman would love. Those things are huge in Denver. And actually what Jason says is that people are so distracted in their everyday lives. They have so much to do that it's hard to pull them away from their activities on Sunday to ask them to join in the life of a church and the gospel. And so it's hard to have that compelling call to them when so many exciting things are going on around them. But the Tiptons are part of Sin Relief Denver, and you may be thinking, well, Sin Relief is usually for places that are in times of crisis, but actually what Sin Relief does in Denver is they minister to refugees. And he says specific areas of ministry for the Denver Center are food insecurity, projects that strengthen local schools, resources for those in foster care, and job skills and training for refugees. And it orchestrates a collaborative effort through local churches and other nonprofit agencies to address these needs. Well, maybe in North Carolina we don't have a Sin Relief hub, but we do have refugees in North Carolina. And if you want to be of help to them, you can contact any of your welcome centers across the state. And then you could also go and visit the North Raleigh International Baptist Church or call Pastor Patrick there and see how you can be of help to them, because that is a church that is about 80% refugees and about 75% of the entire congregation is children. So there is lots of opportunity for reaching out to refugees, but also if just looking around our own neighborhoods, is food insecurity an issue in your neighborhood? Let me tell you, one way to know if food insecurity is an issue in your neighborhood is look around and see if there's a Dollar General there. Dollar General sets up shop in places of food insecurity and poverty. So if you can check that box, there's probably ways that you can reach out in your community to help with food insecurity. What about projects that strengthen local schools? Could your group help to tutor or volunteer at your local school? Can you help with foster care? And are there people who need job training skills? Is there a CWJC near you? Could you volunteer for that? So the things that the refugees are in need of are also things that people in high poverty areas are also in need of. So look around, see what your community looks like. What is the breakdown? Is your school a Title I school? That means that I think you have to be 80% of your student population lives in poverty. I think that's right. It might be 70. But find out, are you a Title I school? If so, there's a lot that you can do to help with all of these things through your local schools and to partner. And that's what we should be all about as WMU, is partnering with local ministries that are already doing good, like our, what am I trying to think? Meals on Wheels. That's another awesome opportunity to reach out to your local community. Also, don't forget that red boxes are this month, November the 7th through the 18th. You can be dropping off or mailing your donations for our red boxes to First Baptist Church in Asheboro, North Carolina. Don't forget to check your sizes and make sure that those are all right, that you've got your packing slip and that everything is labeled as it should be. And they will be happy to take your donations then, and we will be delivering those. Actually, we'll be packing counting, if you want to be a part of that, at First Baptist Asheboro at 8:30 in the morning on Monday, November the 21st. And then on the 28th, the morning of the 28th, we will be packing for our small prison. If you want to be a part of that morning as well, we invite you to come and help us pack those boxes. And then the rest of the week, we'll be packing for Anson and for Central Prison and one other prison as well, and delivering those on the 30th and the 1st. That's me over there looking at my calendar. So we are excited to partner with you in this ministry. So don't forget to get your boxes here November the 7th through the 18th. So on to our missions lesson. We are talking about Better Together in Denver, Colorado. And we are talking about the Tiptons who work with Send Relief Denver. And you may be wondering, why is Send Relief in Denver, Colorado? Because it is a tourist spot. It's not a place of a natural disaster. It's a relatively high socioeconomic level for most of the state because a lot of people travel there and live there so that they can enjoy the fishing and the camping and the mountain climbing and hiking and biking and skiing and all of the things that Colorado has to offer. And so why send relief there? And the truth is that yes, Colorado has all of those things, and it has a high wealth per capita ratio in many areas, but in Denver, there is a very large refugee population. And so Jason and Missy Tipton work with Send Relief to help that refugee population. And it says, let me just read this to you. They work with specific areas of ministry, such as poverty, food insecurity projects with local schools, resources for those in foster care, job training skills, and they all do all of this all in collaboration with local ministries who already have good things going on. Jason says that he does not believe in reinventing the wheel. When there are good things going on through local ministries, they want to partner with them. And so they come alongside local food distribution centers and things like that are already going on and help with what's going on there. And this made me think about this. There are refugees in North Carolina. Could you reach out and help there? Look, and if you're saying, well, where are they? Well, look where your local friendship houses are. There are refugees nearby. Also in Raleigh, there is the North Raleigh International Baptist Church, and that church is comprised primarily of refugee children and their families. So they are always open to support and volunteers at North Raleigh International Baptist Church. You can contact Pastor Patrick Waratu for more information on how you can serve that population. But also just look around your own community. It makes me also think, do some of our own communities have food insecurity and high poverty levels? And do your local schools need volunteers and that sort of thing? And you may be saying, well, I don't know if we're a high poverty area. I mean, you probably have a pretty good idea of it, but you may not know if food insecurity is an issue for your area. Well, here's one of the ways to tell, and might sound weird, but look around your community and see how many Dollar Generals or Family Dollars are in your location, because part of their business model is to establish themselves in areas of poverty and high food insecurity. So if you've got a Dollar General, chances are you've got high food insecurity. If your school, local elementary and high school, are Title I schools, chances are you've got food insecurity in your school. In your school system and in your community. And there are lots of ways that you can work to address that. You can volunteer through Meals on Wheels. You can be a part of a buddy backpack program, and just contact your local school and see how you can help, because the needs are everywhere. And all the same for all these other things, such as job training skills. Is there a CWJC near you? Is there a way that you could help with job training for not just refugees, but for women in your community? So those are all things that we can think of when we think about send relief, send relief in Denver, but also when we think about our own communities. And one of the prayer requests that Jason has is that they might be able to present a what did he say? A compelling vision uh, to follow Jesus, because the people are beautifully distracted, he said. They are distracted by all the fishing and the hunting and all of those things that I described for you earlier. Guess what? Those are weekend warrior activities. And so when people are in the middle of doing all of these recreations, they don't really want to be pulled away from their fun to become a part of a church community or even to take time for the gospel. So be in prayer for those who are beautifully distracted. And for the other prayer request on page 19 that the Tiptons have listed for us, be in prayer for him as he works with church planters as well, that they might be able to minister to their community well. Jason Tipton also says that he is a big fan of the short-term mission trip, and so he invites everyone to come and join them there at Send Relief in Denver when you have a chance. So maybe that's a way that you can put feet to your faith and to our passion for missions is take a trip to Colorado and volunteer there. And he asked for a prayer for his family before Jonathan goes to college, for sustaining grace to lead them to pace themselves for ministry over the long haul, because there is so much need. For short-term teams and long-term partners, and for the gospel to be advanced among those being served. So some interesting things that you might think about to do that are easy to do for your group this month. When I think of Colorado, I think about Buffalo Bill. Actually, that's where he settled, and so maybe you want to have a cowgirl night. If you got cowgirl boots, if you got Western wear them. Invite your ladies to wear those to your November meeting, and that would just be a fun way. Wear your Western wear and make a Denver omelet. I am actually putting a recipe online from Taste of Home, which that's good if it's from Taste of Home. For a Denver omelet casserole. So try that recipe out and have a little taste of Colorado there. Another thing, like when you think about Buffalo Bill and cowboys, you should be thinking about buffaloes, because buffaloes are in Colorado. In fact, buffaloes and cows are in Colorado is one of the few places that they coexist. And I was told a story through my local Mothers of Preschooler or MOPS ministry about the difference between buffaloes and cows, and I had never really thought of it before, but the story goes that when cows see storms coming on the horizon, they run away, and because cows are slow, the storm catches up with them, but they don't stop running, and so they basically keep pace with the storm, and they just keep going through the same storm for a long period of time, which is not very smart. But cows are not very smart. But the buffalo face the storms differently. When a buffalo sees a storm coming on the horizon, they run to the very edge of the storm and then straight through it, because they know that if they are running against the storm, eventually they'll get to the other side. And the storm it takes less time to get through the storm, and the storms are usually a little less severe for the buffalo because they run through them instead of away from them. And so what a great parallel for ministry, right? Ministry is messy. Missions is messy. It's hard work, and lots of people don't want to do it. And sometimes it can feel really tough to feel like we are pulling our churches along this mission journey with us at WMU. And it's hard to sometimes get families to understand the importance of their children learning missions. And those are storms that we face as we minister in missions through WMU. And any kind of missions education, and really any ministry. That's the same kind of storm that the Tiptons face. There are lots of storms in ministry, but we have to be like those buffaloes. We have to run not away from missions. We can't run away from the storms, away from the hardships that we'll face, but we have to run straight headlong into God's calling for us and for our missions group. And I hope that is what you will do, that you will pass through those storms together, and on the other side of it, you will have grown stronger together as a group, that your church will be more focused on missions, and that on the other side of that, you will have served God, and great is your reward, right? On the other side of the storm is Jesus, and having served him well. So that is always worth the storm. So this month, I want you, as you think about Denver and Colorado, think about the buffalo. And I have a template made for you online that you can download to make these ornaments. And it's got a buffalo, and it says, "Into the storm," to remind us that not to run away from the challenges of ministry, and to run into the storm, knowing that God will be with us every step of the way. And on the other side is a buffalo plaid print that says WMU. So again, that is available on the Mission Shakeup website, and that is it's just a piece of paper that I printed on both sides and cut out the little squares, and then I laminated it and hole punched it with a string. So maybe you can think of another reminder that would be even prettier. But I thought this was a fun one, just to give your ladies, to remind them through the month of November and December to run into the storm. Maybe your storm that you're facing is your Lottie Moon Christmas offering. And meeting your goal, and just run straight into it, ladies. You can do this. Together we can do this. All of those, the North American Mission Board, the International Mission Board Week of Prayer is December 4th through the 11th. If you have not signed up to get your materials from us, if you're not on our mailing list for materials, all of those materials are available at the IMB website. If you go to Lottie Moon, you can find it on that page. It has stories that you can download. It has videos for you to download. It has pictures, all of those things. In fact, they are not mailing out any DVDs this year. All of the videos are available online. So I hope you will take advantage of all those materials that are available online. And if you are freaking out a little bit by now and you say, "I haven't gotten my materials yet from WMU of North Carolina," do not panic. We are in the middle of packing them furiously right now. The materials were sent about a month later than usual. So we've gotten them in the last 2 weeks, and we've been packing as hard as we can, and those will be getting to your doorstep before time for your campaign, I am sure. But like I said, in the meantime, you can find anything that we are sending to you. You can find available online at IMB, at the International Mission Board. I think that's imb.org, but you can find it online. So we've talked about Colorado. We've talked about Cowboys. We've talked about Buffalo Bill. Also, on page 24 of your Missions Mosaic magazine, our project help this year is mental health. And so it has warning signs, what to do when you are concerned about another's mental health. And it helps us to make a plan and gives us some things to look out for as we are looking around. It says 1 in 5 Americans suffer from some sort of emotional or mental health disorder since 2020. So if you feel like you are struggling and that you are battling some depression or other mental or emotional health issue, know that you're not alone. Literally, anytime you look around and there's 10 people, it'll be you and another person that is struggling with this. So just think about that. That is a huge number. So that means that it's a real opportunity for ministry. They give on page 25 a list of things to look for people who are struggling, especially with caregiver burnout. As WMU, we know that we are a women's organization, and women are mothers, and we are wives, and we are daughters, and we often end up being caregivers. So I hope that you will look at those things. And it says, it is a sacred space to walk alongside someone struggling with mental health issues, but it takes energy and can take a toll if you're not also caring for yourself. Scriptures call us all to care for one another and support one another, but we must do what we can to ensure we care for ourselves along the way. And they give the example of Elijah and how God had him before as he was fleeing from persecution, God had him to rest and to eat. And twice he said, "Get up and eat, for the journey is too much for you." So he got up and ate and drank, and he slept. And so the journey is too much for us alone. We have to have our sisters in Christ, and we also have to have our Heavenly Father walking through the journey with us. And we also have to take care of ourselves. And just like Elijah took those moments to allow himself to be ministered to by the angels, we also must take time to eat and sleep and rest and make sure that we are caring for ourselves, because we can't pour from an empty cup. The last thing that I wanted to share with you is Micah's Gospel of Grace on page 23. And it's talking about, what does the Lord require of you but to do justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. And it breaks down those requirements. And it says, this argument presents Israel with the difference between ritual worship and making God's commandments personal. So I want to issue a challenge to you, or what you do, is what you are doing through WMU and missions personal, or are you doing it out of obligation? Is it ritual because you feel like you have to, or is it because you feel that passion and that call to serve? And I hope that you, as you care for yourself, as you take care of yourself, as you look around your community for need, just like the Tiptons, that you will also ask our recipes. I will have the website for the IMB videos in case you haven't gotten your materials and you want to promote that already. And I hope that you will have a very, very thankful Thanksgiving together and a safe Thanksgiving with your